Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the Carolina Panthers. Now, since the last Panthers video I made, Frank Reich was officially hired as the head coach of this football team, and I gotta say, I am extremely excited. I feel like he was done a little bit dirty in Indianapolis, and especially with the Tom Brady retirement announcement. First off, respect to the GOAT. There is a wide open NFC South that the Carolina Panthers can take. And I love that Frank Reich, he has so much of a great track record as far as starting quarterbacks go. Like, seriously, Andrew Luck, Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz, they all had statistically the best years of their career under Frank Reich. And seriously, guys, I am just so excited for this Carolina Panthers team. Before we get any further into today's video, if you guys do enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button if you guys enjoy it. Now, we'll talk a little bit about the draft and free agency, etc. in, later on in the video, but I do want to say this. The NFC South right now, as far as quarterbacks go, and to be honest with you, overall just teams go, we go back to New Year's Day. Carolina actually had a really great chance to get into the playoffs with a home football game, and I feel like that would have been great experience for a lot of these young players on this football team. It is what it is. I still think that game against Tampa Bay, I still think that was beneficial for these guys. But when we take a look at the quarterback position in the NFC South, here's how it goes as it stands right now. Kyle Trask, Desmond Ridder, Andy Dalton, and Sam Darnold. And Sam Darnold technically actually isn't even, he's going to be a free agent. So if we were to use that logic, if the Panthers were to re-sign Sam Darnold, and we'll talk about that in just a second, Sam Darnold's the best quarterback in the division, which is absolutely crazy to even think about. So let's talk about it a little bit. Now, that's the first thing to me, because Carolina, they have the first round pick, they have the ninth pick in the first round. They have their own second rounder. They have San Francisco's second rounder. They have San Francisco's third rounder, their own fourth rounder, San Francisco's fourth rounder, and their own fifth rounder. And just in general, even outside of 2023, the Carolina Panthers have a ton of draft capital. So, there's been a lot of hypotheticals out there I've seen where the Panthers trade up, try and take a quarterback because, to be honest with you guys, CJ Stroud, I don't think he will be available with pick number 9. Anthony Richardson, he comes with his own issues, so I also wouldn't be surprised if they were to trade down. So either way, they could trade up, they could select at number 9, especially if like a defensive end were to fall, because this is a great loaded draft for those guys. But in general, I'm excited, man. Sam Darnold, Matt Corral, whoever the quarterback's going to be, I have full confidence that Frank Reich is going to figure it out. Now, when we take a look at Carolina as a whole, I don't honestly put too much stock into any of their statistics. I do love their rushing attack. However, you do have Dante Foreman as a free agent. But this is a team that started the year 2-7. They were 2-7. They were 1-5 at one point. They won a couple of nice games, Seattle, Denver, Detroit, and they gave themselves an ability to win the division on the road against a talented, I know 8-9 isn't that great, but like the best quarterback ever in Tom Brady. And unfortunately, they fell just short due to a fourth quarter collapse. And I have an inclination that was, that collapse was kind of a big deal as far as why Steve Wilks wasn't brought back. I love Coach Wilks. I think he seems like a phenomenal person. He seems like a very smart guy. But at the end of the day, Frank Reich, the offensive guru, I feel good about it. So let's take a look at some offseason needs here. Coming in at number 1 is the quarterback position. Now, I anticipate this front office to be extremely aggressive, whether it's in the draft or free agency, whether it's the quarterback position or elsewhere. They're going to be aggressive, all right? Because it's not just me, it's not just Panthers fans themselves as an organization. They see this door, it's wide open. And the door is just begging for somebody to come in and take it and to walk through it. And I really think it's going to be the Carolina Panthers. They ended the season, I know, 7-10. Statistics, when you do a deep dive into it, 20th in points per game. Well, at the end of the day, Sam Darnold was their best statistical and eye test quarterback. And that's crazy because Sam Darnold is, to me, I have nothing but love for him. But to me, he's more of a backup starter that I can feel comfortable with filling in for an injured starting quarterback. I don't think that he should be like kind of the quote-unquote bridge starter for this team next year if they were to take a quarterback. I would rather actually go with Matt Corral. I loved him in college. I think he's a really talented QB, and I wouldn't mind if they were to just give him the keys to the offense. At the end of the day, no matter who's on the quarterback rotation or on the roster, it's going to be one in camp. But I don't know, man. I just feel so comfortable and so confident that whether it's a draft or free agency or trade or whatever they decide to do, that they are going to find their guy. I think Frank Reich, like I said, I don't think he was dealt the best cards this past year in Indianapolis. Matt Ryan, lessons learned. I think he's coming back with a vengeance. And he's about to remind the entire National Football League that, hey, I'm the guy. I'm the guy for this job. Now, there are also a couple of needs for this team. I really like this young and hungry defense, but there's really only two flaws to me, especially middle linebacker. I anticipate them to hit hard in free agency because the free agency class for the linebacker position, it's looking sexy, all right? And I know that Carolina doesn't have the best salary cap situation going on right now. They're going to have to make some difficult decisions. They really are. Damian Wilson, you could save some money cutting him. Shaq Thompson, unfortunately, you could save a ton of money by cutting him. So there are a couple of potential cut candidates, but like I said, I have full faith in this front office. I have full faith in this management to put themselves in a position where they're going to be aggressive no matter what happens. So linebacker, cornerback, you could argue the offensive guard position. There's a very good argument for that. But as far as the offense goes, to me, it's just the big two. It's the quarterback and wide receiver. I love DJ Moore. I think he's an absolute dog. Once again, it's hard to really even look at any statistics, especially on the offense. You traded away CMC. You fired your head coach. The season looked like it was a wash. Baker Mayfield was a starting quarterback. Like, PJ Walker started games. Like, it was just a wash of an offensive year. So we could look into some offensive statistics. I still think at the end of the day, DJ Moore had an okay, actually a really okay offensive season given everything that happened. 63 catches, 888 yards, 7 touchdowns, 14.1 yards per game. Terrace Marshall Jr., he is really, really enticing to me. We didn't see him too much, more so at the end of the year. 28 catches, about 500 yards and a touchdown, but 17.5 yards per catch? That works for me. That truly, truly works for me. He had a couple of nice grabs in that Detroit and Pittsburgh game, to be more specific. But to me, Frank Reich, I want a quarterback. I want it dialed in, and I want to start at the wide receiver position because there's a ton of both quarterback and wide receiver studs available in the draft, and I anticipate them to use a lot of this draft capital that they have to be aggressive with it. So just kind of a little Panthers hype video. If you want more Panthers videos, let me know down below. I plan on it anyways, but as always, hit that like button, hit that sub button. I'll catch you guys later.